What were we trying to achieve? We were trying to tackle the table topics, and I believe most of you did it very well. In fact, all of you did not hesitate. All of you spoke well. Of course, there were one or two who had some starting trouble at the beginning, but that is normal for any vehicle. So once you got started, you couldn't stop. And some people actually exceeded the time, right? Next, remember the five elements. Listen to the topic, confirm, pause, tell your story, and end it nicely. And next, if you're looking for resources, some of the best ways to find resources is to look for all those sayings and parables by the famous people. I've given some here. As students of English, we have to be familiar with the Bible and the Shakespeare. Just for knowledge, it's not for religion, it's for knowledge, because there are a lot of treasures over there. And there are many, many English writers. Read biographies. When you read the biographies of certain individuals, you not only know about them, but you know about the whole country. Like, for example, there's a book called Freedom at Midnight, which talks about the independence of India. And in that, they speak about almost every religion, and they speak about different cultures, clash of cultures, and many things which you would not be able to read from a history book. And the top non-fiction books, some of which I've given here, they are full of ideas. What we need is ideas, and we can only get ideas when we read from the mind of another person. Movies, whether they're old, new, whether they're Tamil, Hindi, Japanese, Korean, Indonesian, always have some stories there which you can use for storytelling, which is a technique used as table topics. And listen to the seniors, people with 20 years, 30 years, 50 years of life experience have a wealth of knowledge. Just to give you an example, many years ago, there was something known as a pager. Many of us won't know what it is. Those of us who were born in the 80s, 90s may not even know what is a pager, but it was there. And there was a telephone which was stuck to the wall. You couldn't, it was not a mobile telephone. So when you speak to these people, they will tell you about some part of history, about life, about one part of the country that is very exciting. And of course, the Google Assistant is always there to give you a lot of knowledge. And moving on to techniques, here are some of the techniques. There are many. We covered the Oreo, the pendulum, the compare, and the contrast. There's also Zoom, where you look at an issue from a micro level and then you go to a macro level. You start from the family, society, nation, international. Think of the effects of COVID. Triangle is, of course, looking at an issue from three different angles, the triad. Other techniques is the clock, as mentioned earlier. Clock is looking at the past, present, future. Globe is looking at things geographically. If you look at food, food in India, food in China, food in America, different. The way it is consumed is different. Then we have something called storytelling. Storytelling has many components. Some of it is here, but a story is good. If, for example, you talk about unity, there are many stories that talk about unity, right? The five fingers, the Pancha Pandavas, the five Pandavas. There are so many stories like that. Then we look at purpose, cause, and solution. Okay, so this is for all those problem sum questions where you can say, is there a cure for COVID-19? Then you can say about what was the cause, how can we solve it, what is the way to go about it, all that you can look at. And then there's another technique called random. Random is just using a list of words. For example, you look at this word random. You just take that word and you tell a table topic based on those letters of that word. So these are 10 techniques that I have come across. I would like to finish with quotation by Abdul Kalam. He said, creativity is seeing the same thing as everybody else, but thinking out of the box solutions. To give you an example on this, once I gave a topic called OX, OX. The speaker was stumped, sorry. Why he was stumped, I also was surprised. Later I realized that he was one of those champions at area, but on that day he lost his cool. He couldn't speak. He could only say one or two lines. Then I said, think out of the box. Put a B in front of the ox and it becomes a box. You have something to talk about it. Put a F in front of the ox, you can talk about a fox, and so forth. Turn the letter O and X around. XO. XO is used in food as a liquor used in food. So there are many ways of answering these two letters OX. Don't just think of it as a word, but as two letters. And thus, with that, I end. And I thank all of you for coming over. We had about 56 over people, and that is a great achievement. People from Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, Australia, and I think even England. And that is a great achievement. We need to really thank the three musketeers, Devi, the timer, and the club captain, of course, and the rest of the members of this club who hosted this event that is absolutely wonderful. I'm sure all of you learned a lot. Do share with us your feedback. We will look at how to make it even more interesting. We did our best to make it as exciting, as interactive, and we, of course, we got the experts like David here and Naveen. These people are not ordinary people. You can see from the way they speak, their depth and wealth of knowledge. You should actually call them to come and do workshops in your own club. And I'm sure you will learn much more from them. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Brahma. Woo! Okay. One thing that we want to do after this is to anchor what you have learned. So how many of you can remember the 10 types of 10 ways that you can tackle table topics? Please type it in the chat. I want you to anchor what you have learned. And it's also because some of us may not be present in that moment and we missed it out. So we don't want anyone to miss it out. So if you remember, what are the 10 techniques that Brahma just shared just now, please type it in the chat. Thank you. Okay, Justin, do you have the slide for the feedback form? What we would like to ask all of you here today is to give us feedback on your experience. No one else will see this feedback except for myself and the facilitators. The purpose is for us to also find out how you have experienced the workshop today. What worked, what didn't work, what do you suggest could have been done differently in order to enhance your experience so that we can do it much better the next time. So your feedback is important. Don't worry about whitewashing. Just be real and be honest, but be compassionately constructive. Thank you. So Justin, could you please show
Sorry,
the
does the
QR code?
Grandmarian have anything to say?
Yes, yes, we are getting to that.
Okay.
Jesse, can you allow screen sharing,
Oh,
please?
screen share. Let me just. I'll make you co-host. Okay.
Thank you.
So Justin is going to show the QR code for you to fill in the feedback form. You can just take a snapshot of this, or we will send it to your WhatsApp later, and you can also fill it up after this session. So what we're going to do next is we're going to call the other person who was really very busy tonight, is our grammarian Sinjan from TARC. Over to you.
Oh, yay, it's my turn at last. Ladies and gentlemen, I have only 5 minutes to deliver a very long report, so I shall keep it as quick as possible. The word adept and adept have been used by 7 people altogether, though some have been used incorrectly. Shin Chan used adept. I am not adept at showing feelings. That's not the right adept. It's adept, not adept. JC, by virtue of using the word of the day as the code for the voting, has used it 4 times. 5, actually. Brahmakumar has used it twice. David Hughes has used it twice. Naveen has used it once. Faradilla and Sue have both made the same mistake by thinking that you could negate the word adept by putting the prefix in. So they said in adept, which is wrong because the opposite of adept is inept. So that's not the right usage of the word adept at all. And moving on to overall grammar. I have taken some notes before the meeting started, but let's keep it brief. So that it boosts the whole energy of the meeting should be so that it boosts the energy of the whole meeting. We went to a sharing of, we went to a meeting that shared. One of the sharing by the speaker was, one of the techniques shared by the speaker was a mispronunciation of the word baguette as baguette. Moving on to page 2. Where you capture his heart, where he will offer you the job. Should be where you captured his attention and secured yourself the job. Are you excited for the next event coming up soon? I don't know when is the next event. The event is happening now. Are you excited for the next session coming up later? I'm a member of 3 clubs and upcoming a 4th club. Should be I'm a member of 3 clubs currently and soon to be a member of a 4th. He is person exceeded me and the only other person exceeded me. Should be he is the only other person who exceeds me in terms of years as a Toastmaster. The only other person being, so on and so forth. Isn't it wonderful we have so many people around here? Isn't it wonderful that we have so many people attending today? You can even send confetti. I'm sure that's a very light parcel for you. You can even emote with confetti. After the lesson, there will be a performance. Well, actually, I won't hold that against you. Today was truly a performance of many people, much less of a delivery of speeches. I came from a family of 11 of us. I came from a family of 11. Men always at outside. Should be men are always outside, or men are always the ones outside. Right now, the warfare should be right now, warfare entails by the clicks of a fuse buttons. If you could click a fuse button, I have a very short fuse indeed. By the click of a button, a mispronunciation of the word procreation as procretion. Is that the inverse of secretion? I have no idea. Secretion is what you do with procreation, in fact. Men is lower now, should be men. I don't even know how to amend this. Are men lower, above? Men are lesser? I refuse that. Never mind then. Expectations on men's should be expectation on us, men. Men is already plural, so you don't need to add the S there. Oh, alamak is not English, right? So you could say, oh shit, since you've already said, oh bullshit, so you can say, oh shit. They have 4 times speaking, should be, they will have 4 times to alternate speaking. Some notable figure who was addicted to mobile what? Mobile homes, to his mobile devices, you need to say. So poetical, should be so poetic. In sort of sync, it sort of syncs with the topic, should be, it sort of gels with the topic. A mispronunciation of the word perseverance as perseverance. Describe success by their own terms, should be describe success in their own terms. Now, I noticed that the facilitator, Brahmakumar, likes to use the phrase grab it by the neck. The correct adage should be grab it by the throat, because you grab a neck, that's still okay, but if you grab a throat, you can kill a person, see? It's like fighting in the ring, it's like fighting in the ring. Human are just greedy creatures, should be humans are just greedy creatures. Chicken and vegetables inside our rice, that's called porridge. No, chicken and vegetables with our rice. On the basis of this quotation, I have not sold anything to you yet. I have no you have no need to send me a quotation on the basis of this quote.
You're almost time.
Oh dear. And I have never think of it before, which I can be a woman. I have never thought of this ever before, where I was, or where I can be a woman. Woman is a nice when good treated. Should be women are nice creatures when treated well. Use this body for a year with a different sexual, it just drops off there. Should be use this body for a year with a different sex. Maybe I can get them so fastly. Maybe I can get them more quickly.
Hey, Sinjin, thank you so much. Maybe last
Yeah,
one.
that's right.
Thank you. Thank you to our amazing grammarian. He could have gone on probably for another 10 to 20 minutes with his
Only if you let
comprehensive grammarian report. It was fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's give him a big Zoom wave. Thank you. Now to wrap up the night, I would like to pass the spotlight over to our exco of the day, Tevi, to finish off with a blast. Over to you, Tevi.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, JCB. What a day it was. Thank you so much, everyone, every one of you. I think we were fantastic, fantastic audience, fantastic participants, and every one of you did such a wonderful job. Firstly, I would like to, especially like to thank Brahma, because I met Brahma at a workshop. I didn't expect much from it, but when I sat through the workshop, I enjoyed it so much and I learned so much, and I thought, this is the man that I want to have back in my office, in my club, because we had one whole bunch of a team of youngsters, new members signed in, and it'll be really very useful. But when I sat through the workshop, I realized that this workshop is meant for everyone, the young, the experienced. Every one of us had something to take back home too. I'm sure all of you agree with me as well. So when I messaged him later on and asked him, and he readily agreed. And I'm so grateful for him to having to come to our group. He said he kept thanking us, three of us, for having to put this together. But I think most of the work was done by him. And we had meetings to round it all up. And thank you again, Brahma, for having to come and do this workshop for us. And he not alone did that, he brought Naveen together as his the other evaluator. And I met David in one of the summit, if I'm not mistaken, a workshop, and I asked David as well. And he too was readily accepted my invitation, or rather my request, to come in, and he was very happy to be a language evaluator, which is his forte, he said. And this is what Toastmasters is about. Everyone is out there to help each other. Without, almost anyone in the past experience I had, when I asked them, they're there to help others. And this is why I think many people are still in Toastmasters, but I'm very new, but the rest of them, that the help is there all the time. So I'm going to go on next to give the awards, and we want to thank all the evaluators. And I would like to start off with our main, with our lead facilitator, that is Mr. Brahmakumar. Justin, are you ready? Yes. Let's unmute ourselves and give him a big round of applause, please. Can we do that? I think we can afford to do that. Unmute ourselves and make some noise. Thank you so much, too. Okay. Thank you, Brahma. Secondly, I would like to show our appreciation to the panel evaluator, Naveen Parwal.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. We'll have this sent to him as well. Followed by, of course, our next will be going to the other panel evaluator, David Hughes. Yeah, that's him. Yes, that's David Hughes.
Very handsome.
Handsome. I like
David. Thank you so much, David.
that. My pleasure.
Okay, now next comes the most exciting segment that you want to know who was the best voted winners of the 2 sessions. The first session where we had that rebuttal of half a minute. And let's unmute and have a drum roll, everybody. Justin, are you ready?
Yeah.
You're ready? Let's have unmute ourselves and have a... And the best table topic speaker for the first session goes to Shanghari from
Very good.
Shanghari from Alwarpet, India. Thank you, Shanghari.
Thank you,
And the
guys.
second one, and thank you. And the second one and the last award, drum rolls, everyone. The best table topic speaker for the second session goes to May from TC Segamut. Yay!
Well done, well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well done and congratulations to all the brave souls as well. Now I'd like to have before sign off, of course you can give your feedback to the form that we have just passed on to you earlier. And I'd like to make an announcement before we sign off. That is, we'll be having a Justin, can you post the next poster, please? This is just for the TC Segamut members that we will be meeting for tea and coffee session, just to sit back and relax and just talk about anything and everything this Sunday. And I'd like to encourage each and every one of TC Segamut members to come in, bringing your own coffee, of course. Otherwise, we will be having this in a coffee shop. But in this case, we're going to have it virtually, just to sit down and just chat. And I'd like to encourage all of you to come for this. And with that, I would like to close this meeting and until we meet again. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
everyone.
coming. Do join us
Bye.
again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Thank
Good
you,
night.
Mama. Thank you, Lucky.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Saiful. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Florence. Thank you, Shankari.
Thank you,
Yen.
You're welcome.
Lai,
Thank you for
Shin.
inviting me, Jesse.
Thank you all. Thank you, Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Thank you for
Thank you,
coming.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, Elios.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Elios.
Thank you, Eva,
Joyce.
Kim, Wisong,
Every one of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Lainey, Elios,
And
Eunice.
Suchista.
Bye.
Suchismita.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Suchismita. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Wow, also
It was
from
a
India.
great session. Great session. I learned a
Oh,
lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, I
Bye,
see.
David.
Wow.
Bye, David.
Thank you.
David, you need to
Thank
meet
you,
yourself.
Okay.
All right.
All right.